Y'all want to see a dead body? Colin Allred and Ted Cruz over in Texas, they had a debate. And Colin Allred handed Ted Cruz his bootay from the beginning to the end. Full transparency, I didn't watch the debate. I knew the debate was going to happen. I waited for the highlights. Here are a few favorite moments that I've come across.
This is a desperate, last-second attempt by Senator Cruz to distract you because he can't defend his own record. Listen, I'm a dad. I'm a Christian. Of course, I don't support these ridiculous things that he's talking about. But what he wants you thinking about is kids in bathrooms, so you're not thinking about women in hospitals, because it's indefensible.
Right.
It's indefensible that we have Texas women being turned away from hospitals, bleeding out in their cars, in waiting rooms, being found by their husbands. So all of a sudden, and this is a good one, all of a sudden, the protector of women and girls is going to be Senator Cruz, who thinks it's perfectly reasonable that if a girl is raped by a relative of hers, a victim of incest, that she should be forced to carry that child to term and give birth to it.
Right.
You think that's perfectly reasonable, but now you're going to set yourself up as a protector of women and girls? It's laughable. And listen, he's trying to distract you because what can you run on? I've never seen somebody who runs for office on what he hasn't done. He's been one of the least productive senators in the entire country. You know that. I talk to Texans all the time who say, I can't think of anything Ted Cruz has done to help me in my life. When I'm your senator, I'll keep focused on the issues that matter to you, on lowering your costs, on securing the border, on restoring a woman's right to choose. That's what I'll be focused on.
I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it, and I saw it with each clip that I'm going to share with you. The moment that Colin Allred starts his response, starts his answer, Ted Cruz has this smug, arrogant look on his face, this stupid smile on his face. But the more that Colin speaks, that smile goes away because he knows that Colin is handing him his ass. Check this out.
Congressman, you have 90 seconds to respond.
Oh, that was really something. I have to say, you can't be for the mob on January 6th and for the officers. You can't. And it's not funny because you're a threat to democracy.
That little laughter, that little snickering, it's to demean what it is that Colin Allred is saying. It is sending a subliminal message that whatever Colin Allred is saying, you can't take it seriously. It's a joke, right? And Colin put him in his place. It's not funny. You're a threat to democracy. But there's more.
The question, and this is personal for me. My family's from Brownsville. My grandfather was a customs officer there. He joined the Customs Department in 1939. It's where my mom and my aunt were born and raised and where I spent a lot of my childhood. And I know that our border communities are real places where folks are trying to raise their families and get ahead. But time and again, Senator Cruz treats our border communities like he's going on some kind of a safari. He comes down, he puts on his outdoor clothes, he tries to look tough, and he goes back to Washington and does nothing to help. In fact, he does worse than nothing. When the toughest border security bill in a generation came up in the United States Senate, $20 billion for border security, he said, we don't need a border bill. That's what he said. And, listen, this is a pattern for him. He's never there for us when we need him. When the lights went out in the energy capital of the world, he went to Cancun. On January 6th, when a mob was storming the Capitol, he was hiding in a supply closet. And when the toughest border security bill in a generation came up in the United States Senate, he took it down. We don't have to have a senator like this. Let me be very clear. I believe in physical barriers as part of a comprehensive strategy to secure the border. We had a bill for $20 billion for 1,000 new Border Patrol agents, for more immigration judges, more asylum officers to help us deal with the backlog. I wanted to make sure we passed that. When I'm in the Senate, we will. And we'll also fix our broken legal immigration system. Senator Cruz has had forever, and he's done nothing to solve this problem. Why would we believe that he will?
It's crazy. It's so crazy that these races are so close. When you watch these debates, you have Democrats standing up in front of the camera talking about policy, talking about what they were able to do, talking about what it is that they want to do. Clearly and concisely are explaining their policies. You don't get that from Republicans. You get Republicans talking about issues at the border, issues that they had the opportunity to fix that they chose not to fix. They want it to remain a problem so that they can use the problem to garner votes. You don't hear them talking about policies like healthcare. You don't hear them talking about infrastructure, how they're going to rebuild our roads. You don't hear them talking about taxes and how they're going to use tax dollars, or how they're going to give tax cuts to those who need it the most. You don't hear them talking about abortion care for women. You don't hear them talking about these issues. They always fall back on one issue, the border, to which they chose not to fix. Well, here's the knockout punch.
Senator, that's your time. Congressman, 90 seconds for a response. Well, listen, it's time to finally tell the truth here. Senator Cruz just looked into a camera and lied to Texans about my position. Let's be very clear. You should look into the camera and speak to Kate Cox, who's watching right now, and explain to her why you said that this law that you said is perfectly reasonable, why she was forced to leave her 2 children behind and flee our state to get the care that she needed. Or look into the camera and talk to Amanda Zarowski, who's watching right now, and explain to her why it's perfectly reasonable that because she had a complication in her pregnancy and was denied care so long that she may never be able to have children of her own. Or to the 26,000 Texas women who have been forced to give birth to their rapist child under this law that you called perfectly reasonable. It's not. This is not freedom. I trust Texas women to make their own healthcare decisions. You know, Allie and I have had 2 baby boys here in Dallas in the last 5 years. You're scared the entire time. You don't know what they're going to say. But I can't imagine if the doctor come in, said there's a problem with the baby or a problem with Allie, but there's nothing I can do because Ted Cruz thinks he knows better. That's not who we are as Texans. When I'm in the United States Senate, we'll restore a woman's right to choose. We'll make Roe v. Wade the law of the land again. And we'll make these stories of seeing these horrific experiences going on all over our state something of the past. That's my commitment to Texans.
Colin Allred came ready to fight, and Colin Allred came ready to win this fight. Texas, it's clear to me. I'm just looking at Ted Cruz and his record and how he has behaved as a representative for your state over the past 6 years. That alone would be enough for me to vote against him. But Colin Allred has more than proven that he would be a good representative for you, your issues, and your state. I'm Team Colin Allred.